So, learners and dear viewers, today we are going to continue from what we left the other time about, in science, about food and nutrition. And remember, last time we were doing this topic of class 8, which is unit 7, from page 113 to 127. But today, because the other time we finished on part A, which is requirements of nutrition, requirements of the groups of people, or nutrition of the group of people. So today, we are going to start on number B, which is food poisoning. And this one, when you check in your primary science class 8, is running all through from page 120 to page 127. So welcome, so that you can learn more. Then remember this subtopic of food nutrition. The whole topic has 8 questions of KCP since 2008 up to 2019. But when you check this one alone, in KCP questions, there are how many? 2 questions. You only find that question of 2015, number 46, and also you'll find it in KCP 2012, number 31. Let's commence. What is food poisoning? Food poisoning is when you check, you find that they say it is an illness of the stomach. So, food poisoning is an illness of the stomach. Is an illness of the stomach caused by, just to close, stomach, caused by taking or eating, contaminated food. Taking contaminated food. So, that's what we call as food poisoning. So remember, this part here is very important in our examination, and also is very important for your day-to-day life. Because many times, all of us eat food, and when you are eating food, you need to take note or take care so that you don't take food that can poison you. Because poison can cause death. So, after this one, you find that food poisoning, what causes food poisoning? Food poisoning is caused by food poisoning is caused by two agents, which are microorganisms, and then also we have what we call as chemicals. So those are the agents that can cause food poisoning. Straight away, let us start on what you call as chemicals. Chemicals, that is one, chemicals here. You'll find that in our homes, in our houses, or even in an institution, we may have some chemicals that are used for various purposes. So, there are various chemicals in our homes or houses and institutions like schools. So, such chemicals are as follows. Examples of chemicals, examples of chemicals found in our houses or home. Examples of chemicals found in our homes are: one, we have what we call as herbicides, because I know some people, they do what you call farming. If they are doing farming, they use what you call herbicides. These are chemicals that are used to kill weeds in the farm. Then also you have what you call acaricides. Acaricides, these ones are used by farmers who keep animals to kill ticks and other external parasites. Then you have another one like we have fungicides. Fungicides. There is also what you call as pesticides. Pesticides. Even in our homes, we may have things we call detergents. We have what we call detergents. When you talk of detergents here, they include detergents such as Omo, or you may also have things like Jik. So those are what we call detergents. Then we must have at home some fuels. Some fuels like kerosene. We may have kerosene at home, or even we may have some spirit at home. So those are the chemicals that can be found at home. So in case these chemicals can come closer to the food, then they can cause what we call food poisoning. Then number two, we have what we call as microorganisms. Microorganisms. So when you talk of microorganisms here, these are living things that may enter the food and cause what you call food poisoning. So these are small living things that can cause poisoning of food. Examples of this one, we have what we call as examples. We have like the bacteria. We have bacteria, we have fungi, and then we have viruses. So those are some of the microorganisms that can cause what we call food poisoning. So, for example, under this part here, the most prone type of food that can easily be affected or damaged by the microorganisms are the protein foods. So protein foods are the most prone food that can be damaged by bacteria to cause food poisoning. So examples of this one, for example, poisoning such as meat. When you leave fresh meat somewhere, it can easily be damaged by bacteria. Then another one, we may have things like meat, we may have things like fish, or even cheese. Those ones, if they are not well handled, they can easily be damaged to cause what you call as food poisoning. So as we move on, So, we have, under this one, sorry for interruption, we have, under microorganisms, protein foods are the most prone food that can be damaged by bacteria to cause food poisoning. Then such as meat, we have milk, sorry, because of that interruption. We have milk, we have fish or cheese. Then from there, let us come to what we call as these ones. If you have these ones here, you'll find that we have this. We have this. Some small animals like the housefly can carry germs which can contaminate food, causing food poisoning. Some small animals such as houseflies can contaminate food, spreading germs to food, causing diseases like cholera, So that's what we call as food poisoning. Then apart of this, we also need to know other parts. For example, other causes of food poisoning. Other causes of food poisoning. Are other causes of food poisoning. For example, if you get some cassava, some types of cassava, not some cassava, some types of cassava tubers may be poisonous if eaten. Because many times you have heard that people have died after eating a given type of tubers. For instance, the cassava, many times have been that over the news, saying that they have eaten this, which has caused even death. Also, we have the sprouting. Some sprouting parts of potatoes may cause poisoning. If eaten. So those are some of the examples. Also, this poisoning in food can be found if you cook beans. If you cook beans without soaking, if you eat them after cooking, it will cause some rumbling of the stomach. That's another example of food poisoning. So, if the beans are cooked without soaking overnight, may cause rumbling of the stomach, which is a sign of food poisoning. So those are some of the examples of causes of food poisoning. So how can you prevent food poisoning? So ways of preventing food poisoning. Ways of preventing ways of preventing food poisoning, ways of preventing food poisoning, ways of preventing food poisoning, ways of preventing food poisoning. Number 1 is always keep away. Always keep away chemicals. Keep away chemicals such as herbicides from food. That's one of them. Number 2, we can also prevent food poisoning by washing food that are eaten raw before we eat. Always wash food eaten raw, such as mangoes, oranges, carrots, guavas, before we eat. Then number 2, we can also prevent food poisoning by another way of preventing food poisoning. Another way of preventing food poisoning will be number 3. Avoid buying food from dirty places. Like kiosks, because some kiosks may be there, yes, but very dirty. If they are very dirty, then it means the food sold there can be contaminated, therefore causing food poisoning. Then number 4, we can also prevent food poisoning by always check the expiry date of packed foods. Always check the expiry date of packed food. For example, if you go to the supermarket, some foods are already cooked and packed, like meat, fish, or even chicken. So when you buy that food for eating, first check on the expiry date, which is correct. And this one here is the one that was brought in KCP 2015 number 46. It was this one. Always check the expiry date. Always check the expiry date of packed food before eating. Next one, we have what we call as under prevention. When you are buying food, always keep it clean. Always keep food in a clean container. The next one here is you can also prevent food poisoning by avoid keeping chemicals in soft drink bottles. Avoid keeping drinks, drinks. Avoid keeping drinks such as sodas. Avoid keeping chemicals. Avoid keeping chemicals in a soft drink bottles such as for soda, as this one may cause what we call poor usage. And if it causes poor usage, it can cause even death. As we summarize this one, we can also prevent food poisoning by keeping the food in cool and dry place. Always keep cooked cooked food in a clean, cool, and dry place. Cool and dry place. To avoid infestation. Place to avoid infestation of bacteria. So those are the ways you can prevent food poisoning. So next one we have, so let us look at this. We've said 1, always keep away chemicals such as herbicides from food. Always wash food eaten raw. Then avoid buying food from the dirty places like the kiosks. Always check the expiry date. Always keep food in a clean container. Avoid keeping chemicals in soft drinks bottles such as soda. Then always keep cooked food in a clean, cool, and dry place to avoid infestation of chemicals. Thank you very much. That lesson was covered by Teacher Vitalis Makanda. We'll meet in the next episode again.